It's been 76 weeks since we last covered the catacombs, where we exposed where the previous civilization went, being stacked into geometric patterns right below the floor of so many churches. Today we take this even further because we have breaking news. More information has come out where we read that the Paris Catacombs are closed for restoration. We all know what restoration means. And then a brand new route is going to be discovered supposedly, which makes zero sense at all, thinking logically. And reading their narrative, where they tell us that the Paris Catacombs were officially created in 1786. Our timeline yet again, where they tell us that they placed millions of bones into this already existing underground tunnel network, saying that all of these tunnels were from the 1200s. When we all know that they just found them, and these tunnels are from the previous civilization. And I don't believe for a second that they moved any bones in the 1700s. I believe they 100% found them, and something really weird took place. I don't know who created these tunnel networks and placed the bones, the 6 to 7 million people, into this massive tunnel network below Paris. But I do not believe that it was done in the 1700s. And I also don't believe that it was all done because they ran out of room for overflowing cemeteries. This is shocking. And I think whoever put the 6 to 7 million people down there into geometric patterns, I believe that this group is still here. I think we're dealing with something shocking. And I think they're in the middle of hiding what is under the streets, calling it restoration, where the city of Paris tells all of us that they just want to improve the visitors' comfort while being in the catacombs, paying to see the millions of bones placed into ritualistic patterns. They just want you comfortable. And as we keep scrolling down in this article, we read that the catacombs, they must be closed temporarily to the public. From November 2025 to the spring of 2026, the historic site is therefore inaccessible, off limits to the public. And they did not put one Ring doorbell down there for you and me to watch. We are not going to be able to see what they're doing down there, what they're changing, what they're removing, or what they are adding. We have no idea what's going on down there. It's all off limits. Also that we can feel more comfortable in death row. The old world tunnels filled with human remains that, in my opinion, they've been there for hundreds of years, and they don't need our civilization's help one bit. Millions of people from the old world. They were not digging up 6 to 7 million people in the 1700s and bringing them into these random tunnels underneath the city, and then putting them into weird designs in the walls. The people of the 1700s, they were supposedly suffering and riding around on horses and wagons with dirt roads. They were sleeping in sheds and going to the bathroom in their backyard. They were not doing this massive burial project, cleaning all the bones, sorting all of them, and then creating symmetrical patterns, designing decorative bone walls underground. And then there's no record of who these people really were, the bodies that are dismantled. There's no names on them and there's no dates. They're just dismantled and they're put all over these walls. And what's weirder is that the walls, they're just skulls and femurs. Where are the rest of the bones? Where's all the finger bones or the ribs? Where's the feet? They literally just dismantled these people and just took these specific bone parts and put them all together and made these weird patterns in the walls. Whoever did this was disgusting, and they did not like these people. In my opinion, this is 100% a trophy to the beings that wiped out this previous civilization, selectively picking which bones to place, totally dismantling these people into a weird art project, and then putting them underneath Paris. This is unbelievable. And people are going and paying to go see this, and they want you to feel comfortable down there. And remember, the Paris Catacombs are 180 miles long in total. And the tourist section that is now closed off, it's only 1 mile of it. So what is going on in the other 179 miles? And then you have to ask, are these tunnels so much bigger than 180 miles? Because we're not allowed to see it. How many people are actually underneath the city of Paris? And why in the world does Paris, France have police dedicated to the underground? We are just getting started today. Welcome to episode 168 of My Lunch Break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. Thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca K, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, the Burlesons, Charles Kruger, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, BKTFnews.org, Ben Dries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Full Task Homestead, John Adams, Attila Power, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Dakota Dunn, Jason Hochberg, Marie C., Michael Dingyu, Patriot Armory, C3SCOB, SoniaDane.com, James Alt, Miggs, Mark Chapman, Ariana Oates, Nathan Burbuck, Ski, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Ellie Annie, Seth Craigo, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Late for Dinner, Eolo Goncalves, Blake, Dax Bill Check and Son, Robert Petro, Cats Hill, Susie Q, Yark 143, Doc Halo, Brenna Fernandez, Paraduction, Necrodemonics, A&W Kerrigan, Rod Wah, Sweetest of Peas, Road Warrior, Bruce Latour, Devin Apocalypse, Ardra Rogers, Brazawayan, Armin Walker, Ivan Apocalypse, Laurel L. Burnett, Hoppy John, John and Carlo, Bill, Vince Moreno, Flat Earth Herb, Sven Eric, Ducks MDF TFV, The Arnolds, Digital Strategy, Earth Daughter, E. Hamure, Harvey, Bradford's Donkey Wagon Deluxe, Ernieho, Just Like That, Backyard Rob, DevlinMcGregor.com, D. Woods, Sherry Frost, Lynn Thielen, F.E. Patriot, Corbin Mechanical, Kent Baki, Peter Battani, First Class Forklift, F.E. Bucko, John Bouge, Brendy's Brenna, Sally, Alpha Auto, Tahoe Highlands, Consulting LLC, Ty, Rebecca Klung, Tim Skin, ValleyMedicinals.com, The Lady Lacey Show, David Torres, Charmstar, Breaking Bigfoot, Tesla.club, Elena Funk, Once Upon a Time in Tartaria, Beacon of Truth, Cashman 451, Mandy, Lucy, Shiba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. It is illegal to enter the catacombs. They're off limits to the public. Outside of the tourist route that is now completely blocked off to the public, going into the catacombs is prohibited under French law with a specific police unit that is patrolling the tunnels. Their job is to patrol restricted tunnels, find trespassers, prevent exploration, and stop gatherings underground. They do not want you to see the truth. They only want you to see the part that is comfortable, in their words. Restricting the public from the catacombs. This all happened in 1955, where it became officially illegal to enter the restricted sections. The restricted sections? That's meaning like the entire thing. All 180 miles of it. And they have been patrolled ever since. Now, I want to remind everybody, this is all in my opinion, and you're always free to think whatever you'd like. That being said, we know that there are 6 to 7 million bodies underneath Paris. Over 180 miles of catacombs, with only one of them being open to the public. And that 1 mile isn't even open to the public right now. It's been illegal to go explore since 1955. And they have police guarding the tunnels. 6 to 7 million bodies, moving them in the 1700s. This is what we're all told. Digging them all up, removing their gravestones, separating them all, picking and choosing which body parts they're gonna put into place so that they could make room. For who? For the new civilization? All of us? You tell me. 6 to 7 million people. Let's estimate that a single horse-drawn wagon was putting 20 people in the back per trip. They had to relocate 6 to 7 million bodies, and they had to go underground and place them into geometric patterns, as we've seen. According to math, this would require 300,000 separate trips, and they are now caught. Their lie is exposed. They did not do this in the 1700s. They didn't take 300,000 trips. This would imply sustained coordination, labor, excavation, transportation, unloading, sorting, and architectural arrangement underground. This is not a little transfer project that they can just brush off. And what's shocking about this is that we have been told this entire time that there are 6 to 7 million individuals placed into these tunnels. We're only allowed to see 1 mile of them, which we are told only exposes a small fraction of these 6 to 7 million bodies, with no official published count of what we can see. But we all know that what we can see is only a small fraction of the overall total. We're not able to actually go down there and count and see the 7 million bodies. We're only allowed to see a few of them within that 1 mile range. And this obviously means that we have to question this even more. I believe that this means that there are more than 7 million bodies down there. There's something so weird going on here. And I would bet you, from what we know now, that there are bodies of beings that are either so much bigger than normal human size or beings that do not look like us, that are from the old world. I want to remind everybody of the Great Fires in every single country, the wars that destroyed so many old world buildings that had statues or depictions of the past, of beings that I believe were here in the old world. Massive people, small beings, beings that did not look like us. I believe without a doubt that this is what's being hidden in the other 179 miles of catacombs underneath Paris. I believe that they've found the massive skulls, huge femurs. We have no idea where we are, and that's because our history books are a complete lie. We have no idea what they've actually found down there. Because anytime there's something outside the mainstream history, and it would make no sense at all in their stupid story, it immediately gets blocked off. And it's been blocked off for decades now, especially when you go around Paris and you look at the buildings and you see the depictions, you see beings like this. Who here would be shocked at all at this point? If beings that were here before our timeline are inside of these catacombs, 179 miles blocked off to the public. Let me know in the comments, would you be shocked if they've gone in there and removed all of them while we're not allowed to go in there and see them? I think that this is exactly what's been done. I believe that in the 17 and 1800s, they found all of them. And they found the skeletons that looked nothing like us. Beings that were a part of the previous civilization. And the ones that are on display, the statues, the depictions of the past in the museums, those ones have their hands and heads chopped off, hiding exactly what they really looked like. So we have 6 to 7 million bodies inside the tunnel network underneath Paris. Who's to say that they all looked like us? When so many depictions of the past, of the statues on the buildings, don't look anything like us, especially since they're all being actively blocked off from the public. And we are all told that Donkeys Incorporated was just off moving millions of bodies and decorating them underground. I personally don't think Donkeys Inc. would have had anything to do with that. They are the incredible builders of the past, a great group of people that were involved in the construction of the Milan Cathedral. They went undocumented for so many years. They never needed a blueprint, and they never documented one. And we have brought them back into the light. And we thank you all for your hard work. Thank you to all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber. I love watching this community grow. It's awesome. We have brand new people every single day. We're also running a fundraiser to help families with medical debt. Every dollar wipes out about $100 of debt, Nobody's waking up today asking for medical debt, which is why I picked this fundraiser. The system that we all live in is obviously a mess, and it's not set up to help people at all. We're all in it together, and I think the only way to see real change is to help each other at this point. Nobody else is coming to save us. So let's show how awesome this community really is. We're not just about exposing the past. I'd love for this channel, what we've all built, to be a place that's known for helping people and their kids. We are on YouTube. We're on Rumble, X, Instagram, TikTok, BitChute, and Spotify, if you're looking for even more content from us. We're also on eBay. A lot of people wanted the episodes in a physical archive, and that's where you can find them. It's incredible. 10 years ago, I think that suggesting that beings that don't look human, or were a lot bigger or a lot smaller than average human size, I think that that would have been dismissed instantly. Today, that's completely changed. Asking questions is exactly how we've been finding answers. I'm not here saying that there are for sure beings that aren't human in these catacombs, but through their actions, putting together all of these things that we've seen to this point, including the Nephilim episodes, I think that it's very likely at this point that the old world, the previous civilization, prior to the 1700s, I believe that this place that we all live was covered with beings that did not look like us. We've all seen the stories where angels were helping the people construct palaces. We've all been brainwashed into thinking that myths and legends are all fake and fairy tales, when in reality, we have proven that the history books that are inside the schools right now, they have no source. There's no author. And the stories that we're all being told, those are the real fairy tales for adults. There are no blueprints backing them up. There's no receipts. There are no ledgers. There's no documentation. We also know that restricting the public, that means that we know that something huge is being hidden from us. For all of those people that are asking, why would they restrict 179 miles of tunnels? 179 miles of catacombs underneath Paris. It would change the narrative in a second. If you opened it up right now, and you showed the entire world that beings are underneath Paris, that there are skulls that have horns, people are obviously going to wonder, why has that been hidden all this time? And then they're going to start wondering, what else is not being told to them? And that's exactly why it's restricted. And then they're going to say, okay, Paris is hiding 179 miles of tunnels. What's going on in Odessa, Ukraine? What's going on in the 1,550 miles of catacombs there, where thousands of miles of tunnels are effectively closed to the general public? The full network has not been fully charted. Only a small section of these catacombs, such as the portion incorporated into the Museum of Partisan Glory, is officially accessible for tours. The whole thing isn't even mapped out yet. And we all know that there are catacombs all over the world. The old world is underneath our feet, underneath these cities. And things are happening in these tunnels today. They're doing something in there, just like we saw in Chicago, where they have structures underground, just like we see in Paris, when police discovered an underground cinema 20 meters below the ground level. On the roof of the chamber, the Star of David, along with other things. And then when the police returned a few days later, after they discovered it, the electricity, it had been disconnected, and a sign reading "Don't look for us" was placed there. This place was still in use. The underground cinema was discovered just a few days after police found 3 tunnels near the capital's only prison. The old world buildings are all connected underground, and we know this. My question is this: who is still using these tunnels today? And what else are we not being told about? Those police officers that found the cinema, they were supposedly removed from the force, and we never got their names. And we've never heard from them ever again. And what is going on in Mammoth Cave National Park, a 426-mile cave system that's being mapped out in Kentucky, USA? Supposedly the longest cave system in the world, where they were finding human remains deep inside. In the 1800s yet again, they found bodies. They found old world items. They displayed the remains publicly for decades, and then they removed them. And the cave system is now restricted for preservation and archaeological reasons. What else is in there? What did they just find that they do not want us to see?